You flip the phone to silent and face down, and the room changes shape. Street noise fades to a soft wash. The fan hums. Steam rises from your mug and smells like cocoa and toast. Your screen is clean. The page is blank and steady. You breathe once, twice, as if stepping from warm air into a cool pool. This is the moment before momentum, the quiet hinge that decides the day. If you protect it, it will carry you. If you waste it, the day dissolves into pings and half-thoughts. Deep work begins here, in a small, ordinary choice to pay full attention. Deep Work by Cal Newport is a guide to defending that hinge and turning it into a daily habit. Newport, a computer science professor, watched how modern work splinters attention into fragments too thin to hold anything heavy. Meanwhile, the economy increasingly rewards people who can sustain focus and wrestle with complexity. The paradox is brutal. The skills that matter most are developed in states our tools constantly disrupt. This book argues for a different design for your days, one where focus is the default. At the center is a clean distinction. Deep work is sustained, distraction-free focus on a cognitively demanding problem. Shallow work is busy work that looks useful but rarely compounds into mastery or meaning. Deep work creates value and builds skill. Shallow work creates motion and noise. You can't eliminate shallow work, but you can fence it in so depth gets your best hours. You already know what deep work feels like. The keys sound closer. Your posture settles. Your mind becomes quieter and brighter at the same time. You also know the grit that appears when you switch tasks. Psychologist Sophie Leroy calls it attention residue, the sticky afterimage from the last thing you were doing that blurs the next thing. Newport's answer is architecture, not heroics. Build a life where deep work happens by default because you scheduled it, ritualized it, and guarded it. He offers several scheduling philosophies. Monastic means cutting shallow demands to near zero for long stretches. Think of Donald Knuth, the legendary computer scientist who refuses email so he can build intricate ideas in peace. Bimodal means dividing the year or week into periods of availability and periods of isolation. Carl Jung practiced this a century ago, retreating to a stone tower at Bollingen to think and write, then returning to the city for patience and lectures. Rhythmic means placing deep blocks into your routine, same time, same place, until they become as normal as brushing your teeth. Journalistic means dropping into depth opportunistically, the way a seasoned reporter writes between calls and chaos. None is morally superior. Choose the one that fits your season. Ritual makes all of this real. Don't promise I'll focus more. Build a repeatable beginning your senses recognize. Same chair, same mug, a short playlist with no lyrics, a card with one clear problem written in plain words, a timer set for a block you can complete, a note on the door or a message to your team that says when you'll be back. Decide what done looks like before you start. 3 pages, 1 proof, a draft of the onboarding flow. When the runway and the landing strip are clear, the flight in between gets easier. You also have to train yourself to tolerate boredom. We treat boredom like smoke, something to escape at once. Deep work asks you to sit with it. Walk without headphones and hold one question as you move. Wait in line with your phone in your pocket until that feels normal. Alternate intense focus with real, quiet breaks. Boiling water, stretching by an open window, washing a dish by hand. That contrast teaches your mind to shift between throttle and idle without lunging for novelty every time. Tools can help or harm. our default is the any benefit rule. If a platform helps at all, we keep it. Newport suggests the craftsman's rule instead. Keep only what materially improves your ability to learn, create, or reach the right audience. Imagine tipping every app on the table and choosing a few with care. The rest can sit quietly on the shelf. If a tool constantly tugs your attention into 1,000 tiny pieces, it isn't a tool. It's a tax. Shallow work still exists, so you budget it. Schedule every minute gently so trade-offs become visible. Batch email into 2 windows. Run a 30-minute admin sprint after lunch to approve, reply, and file. Decline meetings without an agenda or a decision to make. Turn recurring chores into checklists so the mindless stays mindless. Decide when your workday ends and let that constraint force creativity. Fixed schedule productivity sounds strict until you feel what it gives back. Evenings you actually recognize as your life. Here's what this looks like on the ground. Lynn is a product designer who lives above a street where scooters hum like bees and a soup stall perfumes the air each morning. She used to start the day inside other people's plans and end it wondering what she had done. She found deep work on a friend's shelf and chose the rhythmic method. She cleared the left side of her desk until the wood showed. She set a small lamp, a notebook, and a kitchen timer there. The phone went into a drawer. A card on the door read, "Heads down until 8." On day 1, the ritual felt like a costume. She adjusted the chair, the lamp, the headphones. The timer ticked too loud. Her hand hovered over the drawer more than once. Still, 90 minutes passed. She stepped onto the balcony, felt the warm air on her face, and noticed a rare quiet inside her head. She repeated the block the next day and the next. She didn't judge sessions by how they felt. She judged them by whether she showed up, stayed, and moved one concrete piece forward. In a week 2, she refined the ritual. Same mug, same instrumental playlist. Before starting, she wrote one question in blunt ink. How should the first-time user feel on the second screen? She told her team, "I'll reply after stand-up." She added a measure that made sense to her bones. 3 hard decisions about onboarding each week. In the evening, she walked without headphones and carried one design problem the length of the block. Solutions arrived in fragments. A color here, a shape there, a line of copy to test. Not everyday work. The neighbor tested a karaoke machine at 7:30 a.m. Lean wore earplugs under headphones and moved to the stairwell, notebook on knees, timer on the step, finishing a sketch while the floor vibrated. Another morning, a client crisis swallowed the block. She used the journalistic approach and grabbed a 10-minute pocket between calls to refine the empty state copy. The goal wasn't purity, it was identity. I am a person who protects attention and finishes hard things. She treated shallow work like laundry and ran it in batches. After lunch, she tore through approvals with a 30-minute sprint. If a thread needed more than 2 replies, it became a task on tomorrow's deep list. Meetings shrank because she entered with a single sentence. By the end of this meeting, we decide X. The sentence cut through fog. People began copying her habit, and the calendar grew a little clearer. Most important, her evenings changed shape. She ended the day with a shutdown ritual, tomorrow's deep task on a card, desk cleared, and a quiet verbal cue to mark the end. She slept better. She woke with less dread. On a dusk walk, ideas arrived like small birds that trusted her. She let them land, jotted a few notes, and saved the rest for morning. This is the deeper promise of Newport's argument. Focus isn't only productive, it is humane. It honors the part of you that wants to do one thing well and feel whole. Deep work also builds skill in a way shallow work cannot. When you hold a problem in your mind for an hour, neural connections strengthen the way muscle fibers thicken under load. You exit the session a little different than you entered. Repeat it over weeks and you become someone new. A person whose default is to push into difficulty instead of away. That capacity is rare. The market rewards it. It is also nourishing. Your inner life rewards it too. Expect friction. The first week is a tug of war with impulses. The second is a negotiation with your environment. By the third week, your environment learns your ritual, and so do you. The friction never disappears, but it softens. You still live in a connected world. You're simply no longer shaped by it every minute. You choose when to be reachable. You choose when to be alone. Here's a pocket guide to carry with you. Pick a deep block you can keep most days. Give it a door, even if that door is only headphones, a timer, and a note. Begin with a small sensory ritual. Hold one hard problem at a time. Let boredom train your attention. Choose tools like a craftsperson. Put a budget on shallow work and keep it on a leash. End with a clean stop so your mind recovers and looks forward to tomorrow. Make it normal. Make it yours. Tomorrow morning, try it. Boil water. Sit by a window and write the one question that matters on a scrap of paper. Put your phone out of reach. Start the timer. Work until it clicks. Step outside, feel the air, and tell your brain, good work. Then come back the next day and the next. If this video reminded you what your attention is for, subscribe, share it with someone who's been stuck in shallow noise, and tell me in the comments which ritual you'll try first. I'll meet you there, early, with the door open.